Mm-hmm. Yeah, me
I'm going
too.
to bring up the Chapter 4 synopsis, even though I just played it last night.
For what, Alan Wake?
Alan Wake.
Why are we going to talk about Alan Wake?
Because we have this little thing we like to call Game Club.
Oh, Game
where
Club.
we go through and play an episode, a chapter, a level every week of a certain game, and then we talk about it in detail on the stream.
Yep.
We recap it.
Yep.
Talked about what we liked about it.
Yep.
What we hated about it. And then we go into some detail and some fan theory,
thoughts and whatever.
Yeah.
Exactly. And right now we're playing Alan Wake Remastered.
Yes. You can join us. We are on Chapter 4. Well,
yes.
We just finished Chapter 4.
Finished Chapter 4.
But we're going to talk about Chapter 4 today.
Indeed.
And so there will be spoilers.
Exactly. And for everybody, quick synopsis of the game. Alan Wake is a writer. He's had writer's block. He's gone to the city of Bright Falls as a vacation. His wife convinced him to come. And ever since he's got to Bright Falls, weird stuff's been going on.
Very weird stuff.
Very weird stuff. And we're on Chapter 4. I can't remember what it's called.
The Truth.
Oh, The Truth. Oh, yes, it is The Truth. The name is very fitting now that you say that. Yeah, we learn a bunch in this chapter, so yeah.
Yeah, I still don't know what's real and what's not.
Okay, well, I mean, this chapter's The Truth, so...
I mean, they call it The Truth, but is it The Truth?
I think it is, yes.
So...
So...
So we actually wake up to Dr. Hartman.
Yes.
And he's just filled us full of some drugs.
And he's saying, "Oh, Alan, you've lost your marbles. You've been crazy ever since your wife died in the car crash. You've been here for a while now. You just don't remember."
Yeah. He's trying to convince you that your wife is dead.
Yep.
Died in a car crash or drowned or something. And he's been treating you. And you've been having these episodes about the darkness and the light.
Yeah, and we've denied that she's dead and everything like that.
Yeah.
And we're at his like little creative people's retreat where he like helps people that are creative get back their mojo. So we wake up in the room and it's like, he's like, let's go on the tour.
Let's go on the tour.
Let's reacquaint you because you forgot you've been staying here for a while.
Yeah.
So Hartman and his little bodyguard take us on a tour of the lodge, which is very big and
it's huge,
nicely designed and nice to look at.
I'd stay there.
Yep,
it's got a great view of the peak.
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy people there. Oh, you're not supposed to say crazy. There's a lot of people in need of help there.
Yes.
And did you stop and listen to all of what they said and talk to them and everything?
Yeah, I talked to the brothers.
Oh yeah.
I talked to the guy on the balcony.
The painter?
Well, the painter who was painting just Alan
He's
Wake.
like, I painted a picture of you, Alan, and you're just like, holy, look at this painting.
And yeah, the painting's just black.
It's black with like a vague shape of Alan Wake, like basically like looking like terrified or screaming or something like that.
Yeah, and everything seems kind of normal right now.
Yeah, more or less. Did you talk to the guy doing like his crane style kicks and everything in the main lodge? The crazy guy?
See him. I think I heard him, but I don't think
there was a guy that was just sitting on a couch there, and he was doing crane kicks and talking about how, like, what did he say? Like something like he was talking like you're not real or something like that or whatever. Oh, and the other thing too is that the two brothers, what are their names? Thor and Odin? Yeah, Thor and Odin. They're like, they called you Tom. Did you hear that?
Yeah. I was like, what?
Yeah, Thomas Zane, the name of the author that was supposedly at Cauldron Lake. When we first showed up in the game and go to Cauldron Lake, maybe you missed it, but there's one of the tables you could interact with was like all these Thomas Zane novels. And I was like,
I read that or saw that.
Who's this Thomas Zane guy? I never heard of him. And he apparently was an author in like Bright Falls or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, these guys called you Tom when you were talking to him. But it was also crazy too, because I mean, we tour through the place and, look around and check everything out. But you go to talk to the two brothers, and then in the cutscene, they're talking to you about, you need to go to the farm. The answers are there. And like, I kept this sheet for you. It really itched me or scratched me up when I kept it. And they gave you a piece of the manuscript that you've been losing all over the place. And Alan's like, oh yeah, okay, I haven't lost it. Like everything has been happening. Like they had the manuscript, but they had the little toy hammer that they were hitting him with, like
Yeah.
squeaky hammer they kept hitting him with, which I was like, that's a weird part of this scene. Like, what's
Yeah,
going
it's
on
super
with
weird.
that? But then we eventually go back to our room, and then there's like commotion going on. So the bodyguard is like, you stay here, get to writing. The idea with this is Dr. Hartman wants you to write this story for him to
Yeah.
basically sell. Hartman is like, he's not creative, but he sees himself like as an executive producer. Like, he'll get you going where you need to go. He's in charge. He gives you the
Yeah.
ideas, but you take care of it. So the bodyguard's like, start writing. You know, I'll come back. I got to see what's going on. But the power, you know, things start going weird. So you head out and
Yeah, there's a big storm going on right now.
and then you go out and Tor and Odin have hit the nurse over the head with a real hammer.
Yeah.
So the little fake hammer turned into a real hammer somehow.
Yeah.
So I don't know what was going on. Like, they willed this real hammer into existence or
Yeah,
whatever.
maybe they wrote it.
Because the fake hammer is not anywhere to be seen, right?
No.
She's not dead, I don't think. I think they just knocked her
Yeah,
out.
there's no blood pooling
Yeah.
on the ground.
But you know, things are going down as they do in the old Alan Wake universe, where
Yeah.
there's like we're getting attacked by a chair and stuff like that.
Yeah, you get the keys from the nurse and you try and get into Dr. Hartman's office.
Yeah, and Hartman comes through. We find Barry, who's been like kind of kidnapped. He's locked away.
There's a tape that you can go and play
Oh, of Alice.
of Alice
Yes.
talking about how you are losing your mind
Yeah.
and she's sending you to this.
Yeah, she's
to
gonna
the
bring
retreat.
you here, and how like when she looks at Alan, it's like it's not him and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's not him.
It's the dark presence.
Yeah. And so you get into Hartman's office, and Barry's there,
Yeah.
trapped in the Hartman's office.
So one of the manuscript pages you find earlier says basically says that Barry's been kidnapped by Hartman.
Yeah.
But you find him in there, let him go. We go into Hartman's office. We're trying to get some info. Convenient gun on his desk. So we get
convenient.
that. But then Hartman comes in and is trying to, you know, talk you down, whatever. But then the dark presence comes in and it's like, oh, Hartman's going to be the boss we got to fight.
Yeah.
The dark presence took him. So now we're trying to break out of the lodge and the lights are all off and we have to like try to get through it.
Yeah, we got to turn on a generator.
Yeah, the generator like destroys all the flying furniture that's trying to kill us. We get outside. Barry's
there's
waiting.
this whole ball puzzle where you have to like lure the ball to break the doors to get out.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, I don't know if I'd call it a puzzle really. But
Yeah.
You have to stand in front of the front door so the ball gets launched at the door and breaks through it.
Yeah.
But Barry's outside, but he's conveniently locked the gate, so we can't get out.
Yeah, and so you have to go through the hedge maze.
And I was like, hedge maze, you say?
And
Okay.
I was
It's
like,
like straight
"Oh,
from The
come
Shining.
on."
Straight from The Shining.
I just turboed through this as fast as I could. I'm like, no, I'm not doing this stupid hedge maze.
I
This
mean,
is-
there's no way to get lost in it.
No.
They all go to the same spot.
yeah, I turboed through it, grabbed as much supplies in there as
Yeah.
I could, and then outside you fight Hartman at the gazebo,
Yeah.
while also being attacked by birds.
Yeah, that was yeah.
I now at this point I was like, no, come on, this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
stupid.
Yeah, so I mean, we beat them and
Yes.
continue on. It wasn't the boss fights are not like tough or anything. It's just like let's extend the game's length here a little bit.
Yeah.
I guess maybe it adds a little bit of tension to it, but
Yeah.
not really. But we eventually get to the gate where Barry is actually like, we can meet up with him, and it's like, we're like, Barry, why is the gate closed? And he's like, oh, I got scared and the bad guys came, and then I closed the gate and the key fell out. You're gonna have to wait while I find the key.
So yeah, big, just unlimited enemies trying to get at you in this
Yeah.
point, and I was just like, flare,
Yeah,
get out of here, flare,
Yeah.
get out of here,
Exactly.
flare.
I did get an achievement there for using a flare gun and killing like 5 guys with one shot
Nice.
or something like that. So
I think I got that achievement a while back.
yeah. But you go through and we escape with Barry. And the idea is we're going to go to the Andersons' farm because they say that they left a message there with the answer.
Yeah.
When you finally get the answer, it's like, why didn't they just tell us this?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I get why they
Exactly.
need to make this level, but it was just like they could have just said what we found out. But of course, sorry, go ahead.
So we're going down to the Anderson farm. We I can't remember. Oh yeah, there's a rock slide that
Yeah,
happens.
and I'm like, of course, Alan crashes the car again.
Yeah.
So we crash again. We
Barry
get
was driving though.
Well, I mean, okay, Barry was driving, but we crash another car.
Yeah.
We get separated from Barry. He's down below. We're up top. We have to make our way through like the train area.
Yeah, with no light, no weapons,
No
and
light, no
the
weapon.
darkness possessing everything and throwing it at
There's
you.
just like trains flying at you, and you're just running.
I was like, yeah, I just went through this point as fast as possible. Like, no,
Yeah.
I'm not doing this.
I ran around a little bit looking for like thermoses and stuff.
Yeah,
like that,
I got a couple manuscript pages and a couple thermoses,
but you get to a part where you have to turn on a light to burn down this gate, and then you go through it, and in that area I think we had a gun at that point, but nothing else. I don't think I had any like flares or anything else. I think I just had a gun.
I'm not entirely sure.
But you get, as you're running through the forest and the dark presence is sending guys to attack you, there's like a generator, and I'm like, let me turn on this generator because a light will turn on or something, right? So I tried to turn it on, and like literally 3 times I got killed. I couldn't turn it on in time. So finally I was like, okay, maybe I have to like come back to this thing and there's a secret or something like that. So I went past it, get to the next area, find flares and a gun and everything like that. So I'm like, okay, I'll go back.
Yeah.
So I go all the way back. No enemies spawn when you go back.
Yeah.
And then you get to the generator and you turn it on and all this is a light. There's literally nothing else.
Yeah, I thought that's what it would be, is just a light. So I went there, I tried to turn it on, I got hit with an axe once, and I was like, no.
Yeah.
Done.
I don't know what, maybe we must have missed some flares or something somewhere.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I could not turn that generator on.
No, me neither.
I tried 3 times. I tried like, okay, the first time I was running and then I was tired walking up to it. So like the next time I was like, I'll walk until the bad guys spawn, then I'll run over. It wouldn't work. So I died like 3 times there. So anyways, that part was weird.
Yeah.
But eventually we get to
a cabin. We see a truck go up to a cabin.
Yeah, and we
we're
think
like,
it's Barry. Yeah.
So we go up to this cabin because it's before we can even get to the farm. And we get to this cabin, and you get inside, and all of a sudden you can hear some guy just yelling,
getting murdered upstairs.
Like, oh my god, is that Barry? No, that doesn't sound like Barry.
So as this guy's getting murdered, I'm like, sorry, I have to investigate this floor first. So I walked all around and like looked at every room and saw if I could find anything, whatever. You go upstairs, and it's actually the guy we met in like chapter 1 or 2 who was in the prison.
Yeah.
Talking about how he got in a fight with his friend, but his friend wasn't his friend.
Yeah. And
he was only down here trying to get some moonshine from the Anderson farm because they would make moonshine.
Crazy moonshine.
Yeah. He dies. He's dead, but he tells you about how, shit's messed up. And it's like, we know this already. So now we get to drive a truck.
God.
The driving.
Oh, it's awful.
So bad in this game.
They could have added a few more sounds to the driving to make it sound better.
But like this truck, all these vehicles are so gutless. Like,
yeah, gutless, slippery.
Yeah, it's just terrible. But did you drive around to all the spots, or did you just go straight where you needed to go?
I drove around a little bit. I got one thermos. But
yeah. Did you go up like the watchtower and listen to the radio and stuff?
No, I didn't even know you could go up there.
Yeah, I went up to the watchtower and I drove around, checking it out. And then I got to the part where the water tower collapses on the road.
Yeah.
And then I drove around and I parked by the gate and I just was like, well, whatever. There's guys coming up behind me. I'll just run to the next light. But then it's like, oh, this I don't even know what it is. A loader or something starts attacking you and you can't get by. So I tried to throw a flashbang at it, but it didn't do enough damage to it. And then I just got like a ramrodded by all these guys. So I had to do it again, unfortunately. But the next time I made sure everybody was dead. I shone my truck lights at them. Then I drive over. Oh, that was the other thing too, is that there was 3 vehicles in this level. So I drove to the first house. I got out, got in the house, got in the Jeep, drove it up to the watchtower, parked there, went up the watchtower, came down, drove the car down. So I switched all the vehicles around. But yeah, then you have to fight this stupid excavator or whatever.
Yeah, it's a log feller.
Yeah, and it's just swinging wildly.
Yeah.
So I just show, you shine your flashlight at it till it goes away and whatever.
Yep. I was like, this is coming alive for sure. There's no way that's not coming alive.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. I was just running up to it and I was like, oh crap.
And then we get to the field,
Yes.
and in the field is a giant stage because
Yes.
Thor and Odin were rockers.
Yeah, from the old gods of Asgard.
Yeah,
I
the
think
old
is
god
the
of
band.
Asgard. And yeah, they had this crazy stage set up.
Fireworks, like pyrotechnics, everything.
And Barry's behind the controls.
He's decided he's going to become a DJ.
Yeah.
So Barry's behind the controls. You're on the stage. You're getting assaulted by like tons of dudes. And you have to hold them off while Barry like tries to figure out how to fire off the fireworks and stuff like that. And the music is playing, like the rock, like the heavy metal song from the old gods of Asgard is playing. I love this scene. It was so much fun. It was so much fun. I remember the first time I played it, I was like, "Oh, this is incredible! This is so good."
This is where you get the third flashlight upgrade. You get this like turbo torch that just
this was like a 6-volt or whatever.
Yeah, it just instantly gets rid of the darkness on the the lower enemies.
Yeah, so I would just stay on the stage, and if they came up on the stage, I'd like blast them. But I just let Barry do his thing. Just all of a sudden, there'd be a huge firework explosion, and just everybody would be dead. It was great.
Yeah, and I got the pump action shotgun there, and that's such a help.
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah, it's crazy how Alan can like hold that flashlight and shoot a shotgun at the same time.
Yeah, the like giant one.
Yeah. But after this, it's basically just make your way through like a grain silo. You have to climb up and come back around and open the gate for Barry to come through because he's useless.
Yeah, and you see when you go through one of the barns, there's a combine harvester there, and I'm like, oh yeah, there's no way this isn't coming alive and attacking us.
Exactly. I was looking at all the stuff they had in the barn. Like, it's crazy, like the detail they put into like all this stuff that you can barely see.
Yes.
Like there's like these Welsh or whatever, like I don't even know what you call them, like stone plinths in the one shed, and you can shine a flashlight on them. You see all the Celtic designs on them, but like you can never see it as like anything that's not obscured really, or even the big boat that you have to like let go to smash through the door. There's like a Viking longship on the roof, and you can barely even tell what's going on.
Make it out. You can see the shields on the side and the general shape, but there's a lot of you can see there's a lot of detail inside, but they can't. It's always pitch black.
It would have been interesting if they had a mode where you could play the game in just like full sunlight, just like a tour mode, just to look at everything, because there's like a lot of stuff that's just like you can barely see what's going on. But you fight, and then the combine comes to life, and you have to like fight the combine, and Alan's pretty tough, so he can take a few hits from the combine. But that combine did not last very long.
No, I had that ultra powerful flashlight, dude. Just turboed it down.
But we finally get into the house, and we had read a manuscript page that said like they finally get to the house. And Barry and Alan are like, we need to take a break. Let's blow off some steam and just get drunk. And then Nightingale arrests Alan. So you kind of know at the end of this, you're going to get arrested by Nightingale. And we go into the house. The power's out. We have to turn the breaker on. We hear the music playing, and they're like, oh, that's the message. What's the message? And the message is like, talk to the woman with the light. And it's like, well, that's like the first woman we met in Bright Falls was like the light woman in the cafe at the start of the game.
Yeah.
Where she seemed to know what was going on. So I was like, why didn't they just tell us this at the fucking lodge? But I don't know. Maybe the implication is that, well, they're old. They probably don't remember what the message is.
No.
And they had to have a level.
Yeah.
And then they find the moonshine and they get all blitzed up, and
Alan Wake has an out-of-body experience.
Yeah, this was interesting because then you see the actual, like, what actually happened at Cauldron Lake, or what sort of...
Yeah, so you get transported back in time, so you can see from when...
the lights went out.
When the lights went out and Alice started screaming. So you can you can be out of body and follow yourself back and kind of like look around more and see what happened. And it shows you... you come back and Alice is screaming. You see like the broken railing on the
which we'd seen
thing.
all this part. We saw up until the part where Alan jumps into the water, but after that, the next thing we remember is waking up in the crash car.
Yeah, so Alan jumps into the water and then swims around a bunch, can't find Alice, and comes back out.
Yeah, and then the old woman, which is I can't remember her name, Jagger or something like that. It's Thomas Zane's like girlfriend, but not the girlfriend, the
Barbara.
Barbara Jagger.
Barbara Jagger.
It's not actually her. The dark presence is just using her body for like the last 20 years or whatever.
Yeah, and so she forces you into the cabin to type.
Yeah,
and you just start.
You got to write the story for her.
Story.
And you sort of know that you're under control, but you're writing the story, but you're writing in parts to help yourself.
Yeah.
So you write in the part of Thomas Zane coming in with the light to free you from it.
Yeah, so,
because what you're writing is coming true.
Yeah, so this is where we first get to see Thomas Zane, who is
we've
seen him, but we didn't know what he was. This is his first part.
One of the first things we see in the game after we crash is on the billboard. I don't know if you remember it. Where the first QR code is.
Yeah.
There's a poster of a man in a diving suit.
Yeah.
So that's, they're showing that this is happening, but the only time we see him really before is like the 3 lights shining at us where he'll say cryptic things like,
and you don't really know what it is.
Pick up the flashlight,
Alan. You don't
Alan.
really know who he is.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've written him into the story to help you and drop manuscript pages along.
So he comes in, freezes us. We leave. He's trying to collect the manuscript. The dark presence wakes up and attacks Thomas Zane.
Yeah.
And we escape. Groggy AF. Get in the car, start
we've been there
driving.
For 10 days.
Yeah, we've been there for like a week. Then we crash the car, and that's where we come to in the crash car in the earlier chapter, not knowing where Alice is because we don't know what has been happening to us for the last 7 days or whatever. So that's the out-of-body experience. And then we wake up, and Nightingale's there, ready to arrest us.
Yeah.
And the other thing, too, is like, you may think, like, why is Alan writing this? Like, he's fighting these bad guys. He's getting beat up. Like, why is he writing this? And Alan says in his thing, the flashback, or one of the things, I can't remember exactly when, he has to write this horror story realistically. Like, the hero cannot win just because you say the hero wins.
Yeah.
It has to be like, he has to go through trials and tribulations. Otherwise, it's like a hollow victory, and it's not real.
Yeah.
So that's why he's writing it like he's getting attacked and, this, that, and the other thing. So it's interesting anyways. I don't remember anything after this point in the game, really. I remember vague things about like what happens, but this was the last chapter where I was like, maybe it's because this is the most memorable chapter with the stage and all that crazy fireworks and stuff like that. But I don't really remember what happens after this part. So
very good.
I'm excited to see what's going to happen next. And again, the gameplay. This is kind of like another one where it's like Guardians of the Galaxy. The gameplay is not not doing it, but the story is like, oh, what's going to happen next?
Yeah.
Like at the end of the chapter when Nightingale's there, it's like, oh, damn it, this chapter's over. Like, what's going to happen next? So
At least in Guardians, I was still like walking around trying to find everything.
Yeah.
And this one, I'm not really because it's so dark.
Yeah, that is part of the problem for sure. The game doesn't want you to adventure off really.
No.
Because you'll start adventuring and then it's like the darkness starts swirling and you're just going to get attacked again. So it's just like, why would I even try?
The subpar combat isn't.
Yeah.
It's just so superbly subpar.
Even only if they had added in, like sometimes when the enemies spawn, the camera will zoom out and show you like, hey, you're going to get attacked from behind here. But if you're already in a battle and another guy spawns behind you, there's no indication.
No.
You just all of a sudden get clubbed in the head.
Yeah.
Whereas like in a more modern game, there'd at least be a little arrow pointing over your shoulder like, hey, an attack is coming in. So even that change would have made a big difference, I think, in the combat.
Yeah. Here's another gripe.
Uh-huh.
When you see a manuscript page, it's just sitting there, it's glowing bright white, and you pick it up, you're like, great. If you see a bear trap, it's sitting there, it's glowing bright white, just like a manuscript page. You're like, oh, look, a manuscript page. Nope.
Yeah.
Bear trap.
Yeah. I know.
Debated.
I get why they did that. They don't want you just to be walking over random bear traps. So they only glow when you shine your flashlight on them. They give them a glint for a couple seconds so you know where they are.
Oh.
It's not like they're glowing continually.
Playing on easy, they glow continuously.
Oh, really?
Yes. So I can see them all, and I'm like, oh my God. I see one, I'm like, oh, look, a manuscript page.
Yeah,
nope.
well, there was the part in the chapter where I think Thomas comes to talk to you. And he's like, I'm trying to spread out the manuscript pages so you can find them easily. And then, right at that point, there's a manuscript page, and then there's like 4 bear traps. I'm like, oh, look at all the manuscript pages.
Yes.
And then I walked up, I'm like, oh, no, it's a bear trap. But yeah, on normal difficulty, they only glow when you shine your light on them, and they only shine briefly.
Yeah, on easy they just continuously shine like manuscript
okay.
pages.
Interesting. Yeah. No, they don't do that on the normal. Huh. So, yeah, I'm still. I can't wait to see where the story goes.
Yeah.
Still, I don't remember. I mean, I remember the vagaries, but I don't really remember.
The vagaries.
And the other thing, too, is I keep looking at the statistics, and I'm like, I still haven't found any Alan Wake standees. Like, there was the one in the chapter that Barry's, like, holding up, like, oh, I'm Alan Wake, and I'm a moody writer, and all the ladies love me because I'm so mysterious.
There's standees?
Yeah, well, there was Barry was carrying the one.
Yeah, I know Barry's
arm.
carrying one, but there's ones you can find just.
Well,
out in
that's
the wild.
thing, and there's also Night Springs video games you can find.
What?
And I haven't found any either. And I'm like, where are they? And then I was like, oh, those are the two collectibles in the DLC. Ones, the Writer and the Signal, the two DLCs that were added after. That's why we're not finding them. So
there you go.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm still enjoying it. But I think the next game we do for Game Club, we gotta get something that has good gameplay.
Yes.
Like, it's gotta be something with good gameplay. I don't know what, but it's gotta be something. So if anyone has a suggestion for the next Game Club game, let us know. I think there's still like 4 chapters left in this game. I'm not sure exactly how
there's
many.
only 2.
Oh, okay. There's 6 chapters total.
6 chapters total.
And then I don't know if we'll do the DLC or not. I don't think the DLC really does too much for the story. But yeah, we're gonna need another game. So if anyone has a suggestion,
yeah, let us know.
Cool.
Send us a tweet at StreamBoyPod.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, do it.
Do it.
All right.